Hello friends. Today I'm taking a few minutes to reflect on the past 6 months, approximately 6 months, with just the story of my transition, the story of my life. 6 months ago, I was sitting at a picnic table in Hillsboro, Oregon. It was probably about mid-October, so November, December, January, February, March, less than 6 months ago, contemplating, do I want to live, or is my time on this earth, has it completed its cycle? And I'd been contemplating that thought for the past 10 hours. 10 hours. Aimlessly walking around town from one park bench to another. At one point, I laid underneath a tree for probably about 2 to 3 hours and just cried. Used my backpack as a pillow. It was right next to the freeway, and I just stared at the cars, watching them go by, crying, wondering what is happening in my life that led me to this point. And on that day, at the end of it all, I made the decision to move forward with my life, because really, first and foremost, it was for my kids. But I always knew that I had a big purpose in this life, and I had no idea what it was, and I'd done a lot of work to try to figure out what that purpose was, and it just never came to me. And today, less than 6 months later from that horrible day, one of the worst days of my life, one of the saddest days of my life, so many tears, so much fog. I was just in a thick layer of fog, confusion, illusions. To be in the place that I am right now, sitting here, reflecting back on the past 6 months and what I've accomplished and what I've gone through, I am proud of myself. And I have worked so hard, so many tears, so much pain, so much darkness, so many shadows, so many masks that I had to just sit with. I just sat with them. I pulled them out. I wrote about them. And I wrote about what had led me to that point that I did not want to live anymore. Because I have always loved life. I'm a lover of life. I've traveled the world. I see the beauty in the world around me. I love experiences. I love people. And I love people now with a heart that is just wide open, whereas before that was not the case. But to be sitting here with this heart wide open in this beautiful place, thinking back on this journey over the past 6 months, how God showed me a vision for my life. The source and the creator of the entire universe showed me, laid out before me, a path that I didn't understand at the time. I had no idea what was happening, and everything was happening so fast that I felt his presence inside of my body, and I believed. I had faith that I don't even understand to this day. I felt him inside of me, and I believed. I believed in that path, in that vision that he put right up here. And I felt it inside of me, and I've felt it every day since January, early January, which was not that long ago. January, February, March, 3 months ago. But the reason that I'm able to be sitting here is the journaling that I did to understand what happened to me, how I got to that point that I was just so low that I just didn't want to live anymore. Was almost willing to leave my beautiful freaking kids behind to grieve a father that had so much potential. and had so much love left to give, because it was inside of me the whole time. It was just buried under so much trauma and so much darkness and so many masks that I couldn't feel it and I couldn't see it. I just lost all hope. But I worked my fucking ass off to overcome that. Worked every day since God showed me that vision, and I chose to believe. Breathwork, journaling, humming, meditations, getting out into nature, putting my feet in the sand, putting my feet in the freezing ass cold water, dipping my whole entire body, dunking it under the water to reset my nervous system. That's all I did. All of those things, I reprogrammed my body, my nervous system, and I rewired my brain with an abundance mindset, a mindset that I know right now, today, that I can accomplish anything. I can accomplish anything. And just by being here today, I've began to prove that. And this is only the beginning, because I'm here to tell you right now that I'm planning a move. I'm moving from this place where I was reborn. I was reborn into a new person that finally knows his purpose in this world. And my purpose is to heal. That's it. Is to open my heart and use what's inside of me and the power inside of my hands, my head, my heart, and my mind. To use those gifts that God has unlocked inside of me to help heal people. And to be quite honest with you, as beautiful as this place is, the past 6 months have been brutally hard. I've had to do the hard things, the hard work that most people are not willing to do, to eliminate the distractions, to eliminate the toxicity in my life, to eliminate anything that didn't serve the purpose of me taking the next step towards what I was ultimately brought here onto this earth to do. And that was hard. Like, I had to leave people behind that I love to this day. And I feel at peace. I feel a deep sense of peace right now saying these words, because I know in my heart that I've done everything that I could do to help heal anybody around me that was living in a shadow. And right now I'm planning a move to Mexico. God opened a door this week and he closed one door, which was hard because I've had to learn through this process that I am not in control. I have learned to become like water. I am a Pisces and I'm a double water sign. So Cancer, Pisces, and that just means that I flow. I flow where the water takes me at this point. I've had to learn to give up control to a power that is greater than I can possibly imagine at this point in my life. And hopefully someday I will understand the true power. But what I do know is that this is the very beginning of a journey that my true life path was meant to experience. I was meant to come onto this earth at this time to experience what I'm experiencing now and what I'm about to experience. So friends, I am moving to a little town in Mexico called Los Barriles. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I have an opportunity to move to this tiny little town to continue my healing process, because I've still got work to do. I've still got a ways to go. And in this place, I've experienced so much beauty and also so much pain that it's become difficult for me to take the next step on my journey the next step that God's calling me to. And so he opened a door and said, Andy, this is the next step you're going to take. And I agreed. So in early June, I'm moving to this little fishing town in Mexico. I'm going to finish writing my book. I have a job lined up that I'm going to do. I don't know, as long as I need to. I'm beginning to build an online community to help people that are feeling that same sense of hopelessness that I felt in that moment at that picnic table in Oregon. Because what I have just come through and where I sit today and how I feel and how well regulated my nervous system is, the wiring inside my body, the work that I'm still doing all the breath work. I'm still doing the meditations. I'm still sitting at this beach with my feet in the sand. I'm doing the work that I needed to do. And I know that there are many, 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 many other men and women out there that are feeling that same sense of hopelessness, loneliness, fear, anxiety, toxicity, depression that I was feeling at that moment 6 months ago, sitting at that table. And God has shown me a blueprint to come through this, to be on the other side healed. Maybe not 100%, but well on my way. And I am feeling better than I've felt probably in my entire life, because I'm finally taking steps forward in my life path. So this may be one of my last videos for the next month. I am going to be diving deep into my online community that I'm going to be building to help others that are experiencing that same pain that I was. I'm going to lay out the path that God laid out before me. I've been documenting this entire journey, which I always knew there was a purpose behind that. I'm gonna finish writing my book in a very peaceful, quiet town that has unbelievable fishing, and I'm probably gonna buy a paddleboard and a kayak at some point once I get settled. And I'm gonna do a lot of fishing. I'm gonna do paddleboarding. I'm gonna take the next step to find peace inside of my soul, because this is my journey. This is my path, nobody else's. And I'm excited and a little bit sad, and I have fear inside of me to this day, like I do. But I've told God, I said, God, I have fear inside of me, but I release it to you because I trust in your path that you've laid out before me. I saw it very early on. And I believe it more today than I ever have. So I'm appreciating this last month that I have in this beautiful place. I'm going to be diving like 100% into the online community. And I probably will post maybe a little bit here and there just about the progress and the tools that I'm creating, the curriculum, the course, whatever it ends up being. I'm gonna create an ebook, probably just a much shorter version, kind of a foundational plan to help people at least get started on the path and begin to have hope again where they did not have hope before. Because I can tell you, 6 months ago, sitting at that picnic table, I had no hope for about 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it was, until I made that choice. And then I cried for 3 freaking days after I made the choice, just because I was scared shitless. I didn't know how I was going to do it. My nervous system was completely broken. I was living in a state of fight or flight in a toxic living situation that was not healthy for anybody. And not knowing what I was going to do next, having nowhere to live, nowhere to go, feeling like I had no one in my life. But God had a plan for me in that moment, and it actually started before that, and I just didn't know it. So I want to thank you for your support, for continuing to watching my videos. Even though they were just like this journal, they were just raw and real and in the moment, what I was feeling and what I was going through. And that was the only reason that I put those videos together, that I shot those videos. I just needed an outlet for my voice to let out what was inside of me, to try to understand, because I had nobody to turn to. For the first 2 months, like I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. I had God shock my body at this lake, not here, but it was further down. Shock my body one night, and the sky went blank. And my whole body shook, my knees shook, my body was shaking, and I almost fell into the lake. And I had no clue what was happening to me. And for the next 2 months, I still had no clue, and I had to figure it all out on my own. All I had figured out at that point was I was doing breath work, I was doing journaling, I was doing the meditation, I was doing my phoenix forges, the cold plunges in a freezing ass lake surrounded by snow. But I was rebuilding my nervous system to allow God inside of me. And I am ready to share that blueprint with others that need help, that are begging inside for somebody to help them. So I'm excited about this path. I'm excited about the next phase of this journey. I'm excited to take one step forward towards the path that the source and creator of the universe laid out before me, specifically for me. And what I know is that source has a path for us all, for every one of us, and we all can make an impact in this world. And as the world continues to change, my challenge to you is, are you where you want to be? How do you feel inside of your body? What do your relationships look like around you? Do you need to make changes? How is your nervous system? How is your mind? Do you love yourself? I did not. I've had to learn how to love myself for the first time in my entire life. And I'm feeling very blessed today to say that I love myself. I choose myself first every single day now. And I'm on my path to help heal the world, whoever may end up in my path. And that's all I can do, is continue to take one step forward. So thank you again for being a part of my journey. And I'm going to just leave you with one final thought. Be kind. Be kind to others, but especially be kind to yourself. Choose yourself first. Love yourself.